This is a tale of two teams here. The Chargers started off well with their opener on the road against Cincinnati, winning 16-13. After that, they managed to lose 7 of their next 8 games, including 2 overtime games against the Chiefs and the Saints. And a lot of it's being pointed towards Anthony Lynn, the head coach. They have had some injuries, including both of their leading pass rushers, Bosa and Melvin Ingram. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the injury section. They are a top 10 category offense and defense, so obviously they're underachieving here at 4-9. They're really just playing the spoiler at this point. They did uh, win last week against Atlanta, who are actually bigger chokers than they are. So, and this is a good opportunity to go up against a Raider team that's really the wheels have kind of fallen off. The Raiders have had kind of an opposite season of the Chargers. They actually started off very well. Started off 6-3, including 2 statement wins against the Saints and the Chiefs. And that win against the Chiefs was in Arrowhead, and it's been many years since they've won there. Then they played the Chiefs again in Week 11 rematch at home, and they lost a heartbreaker shootout 35-31, where Mahomes came in and won it on the last drive near the end of the game. Ever since then, the wheels have kind of fallen off for the Raiders. Not to say that their defense was that great to begin with, but just more of the bonehead plays, the missed tackles again, the lack of overall discipline. You could see it in the next 3 games. You can see it there. They get blown out by Atlanta. They probably should have lost to the Jets, and they got a miracle at the end, and then totally owned by the Colts and their running game. So they're reeling. They're 7-6 now. They're on the outside looking in. Basically, right now, in the ninth seed with 7 teams getting into the playoffs in the AFC. So they're going to probably have to win out. They do play Miami after this, who's also looking for a wild card berth. So yeah, they got to get it together. They did finally fire their defensive coordinator Paul Guenther. He's been there for 3 seasons, and it's really not gotten that much better, even with the new blood and all those draft picks. So they had Rod Marinelli come in as an advisor, quote unquote. I think that was kind of a do or die moment for Guenther this year. Of course, if you don't know who Rod Marinelli is, he was the guy who was with Tony Dungy in the Tampa years and stayed on with Gruden, won a Super Bowl with him. Unfortunately, had the 0-16 season when he was promoted to head coach when he took the job in Detroit. But then went back to a defensive coordinator position with Chicago under Lovie Smith, who was with Tampa as well. Had top 10 defenses there. Also was a defensive coordinator with Dallas and did well there. So that's where we are with the Raiders and the Chargers. So after looking at these two teams, this is what I expect as far as game plans from each of them. For the Chargers, I would obviously expect them to run the ball, pound the ball, for a number of reasons. One, the Raiders' run defense has been terrible, especially the last few weeks. And even with the change at defensive coordinator, I don't think all of the discipline issues can be resolved, especially on a short week here, Thursday night game. It also helps with the rookie quarterback, Justin Herbert. He's been doing well, but of course, if you can run the ball well, receivers tend to get open more, especially when you have to pull safeties down. The next thing is Joey Bosa intends to return in this game, and that's huge for the Chargers because Melvin Ingram's been on the IR for a few weeks now. They never have not had a good pass rush since then. So he is a welcome return here for them. He really needs to they'll probably put him on a play count, so to speak, like a pitch count, but he needs to get back into this and create some havoc against the Raiders offensive line who has been hurt. Uh, Everybody's been hurt, but still, Trent Brown did come back last week. He did not look very good at the right tackle position. I'll say that on pass defense. So Bosa could feast in this one. And then the third one is the short passing game. The Colts, another thing they exploit, not only running the ball, but with the short passing game, mainly those crossing routes, anywhere from 5 to 15 yards, just tearing them up. Linebackers couldn't really cover the tight ends. The corners look kind of confused. Again, these are discipline issues that we've talked about. I don't think they're going to be completely resolved in a few days, even with the change of defensive coordinator. For the Raiders, what they're going to want to do is get back to where they were when they were rolling at 6-3. And the first thing they want to do is establish that run game and pound the ball as well. Unfortunately for them, Josh Jacobs has been dealing with a number of injuries, minor injuries. He is questionable with an ankle, as you can see there. He kind of rolled it when he got tackled in one play against the Colts last week, and you could tell he was not 100%. He still played, but they're going to have to mix in Devontae Booker, which I'll talk about in a little bit later. Second thing they're going to want to do is, I call it defensive reset. Get Marinelli in there. I don't think everything's, like I said, I don't think everything's going to be fixed in a few days, but at least get the discipline back, get the tackling back, get the full effort back. They can't play the way they did against the Colts. They'll get destroyed. And the third thing is, I would expect more out of their tight end position. There were some things on offense that they could have improved last week, especially with Foster Moreau. I would expect to see him a little bit more against that Charger secondary, who's not going to have Derwin James. So you're going to maybe more two tight end sets, especially with Henry Ruggs out, being on the COVID list. So that's where I would see with the Raiders and what they want to do to win this game. I also wanted to add a couple sleepers here and looking at this game. Players I think could have the opportunity to do a lot here and are kind of flying under the radar. For the Chargers, that guy has to be Tyron Johnson. He's basically Keenan Allen's backup. When Keenan Allen went out with a hamstring, he came in, got more playing time. He got 6 catches for 55 yards and a touchdown. Basically, they kind of didn't miss a beat as far as their offense goes. And I think we could see more of the same with that, given that it's a short week. And Allen, even if he does play, is not going to be 100%. It's probably going to be limited in snaps. So he could be a good asset for you that nobody's even looking at. For the Raiders, with Ruggs out, you could look at Aguilar as another deep threat, but people already know about him. I went with Devontae Booker, who's basically the backup to Josh Jacobs. Jacobs has been suffering with a number of minor injuries. He's not 100%. And last week, his ankle kind of got rolled up on. He continued to play, but you could tell he didn't have the same speed and burst. This is about the third quarter. So I could see Booker coming in and splitting carries here, as I said before. When they played last time, Booker got 8 carries for 68 yards and a touchdown. He also had a huge game against his former team, Denver Broncos. I guess for some reason he likes to play these AFC West rivals. So those would be my 2. If you need some help, you're looking deep on the waiver wires or a good value for DFS, that's what I would give. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, leave your comments below. And thanks for watching. I intend to make another video, a follow-up video for the review of this game Friday or Saturday. Thank you.